I believe that this is the only video that you need to watch to manifest anything in this life. It combines science and spirituality together, and I will give you a holistic picture of how manifestation works scientifically and spiritually for you to understand how this reality works. Manifestation is nothing but understanding how this reality works. So let's begin. The number one thing that a lot of people in manifestation community do not talk about is that victim mentality. Victim mentality is the number one thing, in my opinion, that keeps you stuck at where you are, regardless of what you want in life. If you feel bad when you look at rich people, that means you feel victim of them. That means you feel lack within yourself. If you feel a victim of your past lovers, your SPs or whatever, you are in a victim mentality and you are attracting that sort of reality into your world. Now, it is very important for you to understand a concept from the book Power versus Force by Dr. David R. Hawkins. I'll put the chart here somewhere, which describes the whole entire gamut of spectrum of human consciousness. And human consciousness is from survival mode to thriving in life to all the way really, getting into your spirituality and living in the blissful consciousness of divine. And victim mentality is kind of the lowest level in that spectrum. It is shame, guilt, anger, and fear, neutrality, and then acceptance and love. You see how the gamut goes, the spectrum goes from lower all the way to love and at peace. Fear, guilt, shame, victim mentality, it all keeps you in the lowest vibration, and you're operating at the lowest vibration in this reality. And that means you are farthest from blissfulness and love and neutrality in your reality. Therefore, you are manifesting more of these lower level emotions. This is also the basis of law of attraction that a lot of people talk about in the law of attraction community, that it has a momentum. So if when you are in the lower level emotions, they have the momentum to keep perpetuating those emotions and you are not even aware of it. So you keep feeling shitty, you keep blaming the world, you keep feeling the victim mentality. It's a feedback loop. It keeps on feeding your victim mentality. The more you look at the world, the more you feel like a victim, and the more it continues to play it back. You see more people who make you their victim, and the reality keeps on playing. This victim mentality keeps you stuck in an endless loop of hell. Now, I'm not saying that the things that have happened to you did not happen. No, we are not denying our past. We are not denying our trauma and the things that happened. What I am saying is, if you understand how reality works, which I will explain further with science, that this thing only keeps you stuck at where you are. If you feel a victim of somebody, you give them all your power. You give all your power to the external reality. Therefore, the external reality will keep on perpetuating the same thing, same old story. Your life will never change. So you are the biggest victim of your victim mentality. That's the biggest thing that's happening in your life. I was there, we're all there, until we come into the deliberate creation and we own our life. We own our life. We take responsibility of our life, and then we begin to change it. So victim mentality and all these lower level emotions of anger, hatred, jealousy, fear, guilt, they keep you at the lowest level survival mode of this reality. Therefore, your life will continue to be hard, tough, and things will just not work out the way you want them, because you are operating at the lowest level. You are more matter. When you are operating at the lowest frequency, you are more matter. And we will understand later in this video how everything, when you elevate in energy, you become more energy, you can influence reality, because this reality is energy at its base level. So understand this chart, look at this chart by Dr. R. Hawkins, and pinpoint where you are. Be honest with yourself and see where you lie on this chart. And that will give you the outlook in your reality. You will see your reality reflecting the kind of emotion that you're carrying within. Okay, so now the science part of the video, which is quantum reality, quantum realm, quantum mechanics, quantum physics. I'm sure you might have heard about it before, but I will explain it in the simplest terms for you to understand how this reality works. How this reality works is basically makes your manifestation easy. Everything, because you understand how the principles and the laws of this universe work, and then you can manipulate them, use them to your advantage. So I will read a definition of quantum mechanics, and I will provide the link as well from which article I've taken it, so you can read it for yourself. What quantum mechanics is. So quantum mechanics is the study of how particles at the atomic and subatomic level interact with each other and their environment. Basically, it is the micro level of reality, the lowest, the smallest particles of reality, how it operates. The observer effect is the phenomena in which the act of observation alters the behavior of the particles being observed. The effect is due to the wave-like nature of matter, which means the particles can exist in multiple states. That's the crux of this definition that you need to understand. That is, which means the particles can exist in multiple states. Multiple states. What does it mean? You are made up of particles. When you go subatomic level, everything is small particles. And when you go even lower than that into the quantum realm, particles behave as a wave as well as a particle. That's the basics of quantum mechanics and quantum reality. So what I'm trying to say is, at the level of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, everything exists and does not exist. Every possibility exists and does not exist. So every single probability of an atom exists at the quantum level. And when you observe something with an expectation that the particle will behave a certain way, the particle behaves that way. What does that mean? So all the science aside, when you, the observer, observes something with a certain expectation, that thing appears according to your expectation and your belief. If you are in victim mentality, lower level emotions, you are observing the world from the lens of, from the expectation of a victim. The world will play back exactly according to your expectation. Persistent expectation. I'm not talking about you wake up one day and you feel victim and the other day you feel amazing. No, it's a persistent state of being. Your expectation that is grounded into your subconscious mind is what will manifest in this world. Therefore, the way you see the world reflects back. That's the basis of this reality. We, the observer, the conscious observer, are shaping this reality moment to moment, because every single possibility exists right now. So if all possibilities exist, then who is determining which possibility should manifest? Who is determining it? You, the consciousness at that moment in that reality is determining. And then when you combine billions of creators, all deliberate creators, not deliberate, but have the capacity to deliberately create, when you combine all of them observing the world a certain way, then the world appears that way. That's the basis of quantum physics and quantum mechanics. And that leads us to the possibility of multiple universes, multiple existences. So there is a version of you right now living in some multiverse where he or she has everything that you want, because they are observing that reality. And then there is a version of you in some reality that is dirt poor or dead, or a king or a queen. So the quantum physics affirms the power back to you, gives the power back to you, the observer. The way we observe the world will appear that way. And so our observations do not change drastically, right? We don't wake up suddenly and think like, now I'm living on Mars. You still believe that you're living on Earth. So your expectations do not drastically change. Therefore, this reality seems so solidly real, same, repetitive. and consistent, but it is not. It is not. This is why the entire law of assumption and law of attraction, these laws work. Because when you assume something new, that thing has to appear in this reality if you're persistent with it. Persistence, this is why persistence is such a key. Then another concept is quantum entanglement, which is very key in manifestation. How the Neville Goddard says that everybody is you pushed out plays out in this reality. How we are connected, the oneness, the non-duality concept of spirituality, quantum entanglement. So I will read out the definition, then I will explain it as easy as possible for you. Quantum entanglement is a bizarre, counterintuitive phenomenon that explains how two subatomic particles can be intimately linked to each other even if they are separated by billions of light years. So, for example, there is one particle that is right here on Earth, and then another particle is on Mars. They are intimately linked together. How they are linked, science cannot explain that yet. But you just need to understand that this phenomenon is existing and has been proved by quantum physics. They are linked. Disturbing one particle has the effect of disturbance in the particle that, for example, is on Mars. How is that? How is that? Science is not able to explain that yet. But it explains the concept of spirituality that has been here thousands of years, that everything is interconnected. Now, why do you need to understand it? How you see someone, how you are expecting someone to appear and show up in your life, they will mirror some of that behavior. Maybe not entirely, but some of it. Your expectations and your image of someone will play out in your life. People will behave towards you how you expect them to behave towards you, not how you want them to. People will not treat you how you want them to. They will treat you how you believe about yourself and them. This entire system that you live in is operating under your assumptions and your expectations. Not entirely, because other people have their consciousness as well. So when you combine all of this conscious curator with their assumptions and their expectations, so we are all driving this reality with our consciousness. We are all quantum entangled with each other. But if you're a deliberate creator, you can disregard anything in this world, and then you can persist with your assumption. Why? Because you know that your assumption will ultimately play out in this world. Your assumption with your boss, your SP, wealth, even wealth and health, everything, your assumption will play out because you are quantum entangled with everything in this existence. So everything will respond back to you in the way that you are expecting them to be. Nothing is separate from you. This is why you need to understand the reality to manifest and manipulate the laws of this universe. Quantum entanglement proves how everybody is connected, the oneness concept, how everything is basically in one enclosed system. So everything has a ripple effect. Everything affects everything. Now the next part, which is more esoteric and not scientific, but you have heard it a million times. Now that you understand science, now that you understand where you are operating in this reality, you understand the system and you know where you operate in this reality, now you need to understand how to manipulate this reality, which is generally known as the law of attraction. You attract things in this life, yes. Some people will disagree with it because they are more highly biased with the law of assumption, that we don't attract anything, we create things. But I want to just give you a holistic picture of how manifestation works, and law of attraction explains it nicely. Consciousness map by Dr. David R. Hawkins. Wherever you're operating, you will be attracting in your world. It's simple. Simplest, the most dumbed down version of reality that I can give it to you. Whatever you're operating emotionally and intellectually on conscious level on this chart will play out in your reality. So you need to raise your vibration. You need to raise your consciousness on this scale to overall have a good life. If you want, because A lot of people come into manifestation and they micromanage everything. That is not the way to live. That's a painful way to live this world, live in this reality. You are manifesting everything with your behavior and your assumption all day long. So if you try to micromanage your life, you will exhaust yourself. You will exhaust yourself. You will get tired. This is why a lot of people say that they were happier when they were unconscious, because now they're conscious, they have to manage everything, and it feels like hell because you become aware of the shit show in your mind. But the easiest way to have an overall generally good life is to rise up in this scale. It's as simple as that. This is law of attraction. This is law of attraction in its simplest terms. You don't have to think happy thoughts all day long. You just have to raise in consciousness, meditate, stay away from news and negative people and negative energy vampires, eat healthy, exercise, basically make your life into a beautiful, harmonious life within yourself, and it will reflect out. Everything will work out, everything will become harmonious. Have self-love in your life, and then people will love you. Have self-respect in your life, and people will respect you. You see, you raise in this consciousness map, and everything just begins to work for you. Why micromanage everything, right? And to put a little bit more science into the law of attraction and this quantum mechanics, there's a beautiful quote by Nikola Tesla where he says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Why would he say that? Why would he say that? Because to us modern human beings, so-called modern human beings, we are too literal. We think that this is a hand, this is solid hand because I can see it, I can touch it. This is solid. It is not. To its very minuscule, very smallest particle, this is energy. This is just energy, wave function, particle. And because I know I am expecting it to be a hand, I can feel it, it is solidly real to me, my expectations is collapsing the wave function and making energy into matter. Do you see how it correlates? So everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And wherever you are vibrating in your physical world, in your expectations, in your consciousness, the world will reflect that back to you. The universe will mirror. You are tuned into a specific frequency with the universe, and the universe is giving to you from that frequency. It is fulfilling your demand that you're putting out in the universe. So if you are operating at the lower level of victim mentality, guess what's going to happen? If you're operating at the love, guess what's going to happen? So think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. These are very deep words. If you go deep to them, if you look at them at surface level, they sound very woo-woo, but it's not. If you understand a little bit of quantum physics now, it will clear up entire picture for you. And lastly, now I want to explain the majority of the content that I have made on my channel, which is about law of assumption. Law of assumption kind of gives you the fine-tuned control over your reality. Law of attraction is kind of a general law, it's in the ancient times, in the Hermetic principles, it was called the law of cause and effect as well. It has many names, but law of attraction is basically to manifest a general good life by elevating yourself in consciousness, while the law of assumption is the potent, powerful, fine-controlled law, which is you consciously assume a state of being and then you persist in it, and the world will ultimately manifest it into your world. Law of assumption. Imagination is reality by Neville Goddard. The reason why I want to bring up law of assumption is because it is more powerful than the law of attraction, in my opinion, because when you truly imagine and when you truly yield into your assumption, it changes you automatically. While in the law of attraction, you have to consciously go upward in the scale. Law of assumption changes you automatically. It Neville Goddard says, if you do it correctly, I have never seen it fail. Why? Because when you meditate, when you go into the state akin to sleep, and you meditate and you imagine your desire fulfilled, at that moment you are energetically becoming one with your wish fulfilled. So it is going into your subconscious mind, and once you impress your subconscious mind correctly, the world will, you will operate, you will change, it will change you automatically, and your outlook will change towards the world, and then it will manifest into your reality, because it works at the most subconscious level, the unconscious level, which is operating our life. We are not even, most of us are not even aware of it. Therefore, when you really want to fine-tune reality to your will, apply the law of assumption and the techniques that Neville Goddard talks about. I made plenty of videos about them, how to apply the law of assumption. I will put the link in the description. But this is the entire picture, a big picture of how manifestation works. That's all there is to it, in my opinion, the high level. Of course, if you want to binge on manifestation video, there are endless amount of them. Your appetite will never be filled if you keep looking for them. But if you apply this, I believe, because it has, in my past 2022, I have basically manifested 90% of what I wanted by understanding these core principles, and I did not have to micromanage anything. And that's what I want for everybody, to have a generally good life and raise in consciousness, and live a generally good life. And that's what I believe that all you need to know to manifest anything. This is it for this video. Until next time, bye bye.